Hi there, everyone. Welcome to the very first episode of SubculturedTV. My name is Tyler.
My name's Jess.
And I'm Chris.
We have a pretty fun episode today, so let's jump right into it. All right, so as you guys may know, the Crunchyroll Awards happen, and there's a lot for us to talk about. But before we go into that, can I just say something? I really hate how the Crunchyroll Awards are run. So, like, if you don't know how it's run, Chainsaw Man actually wasn't eligible for any awards because it's in the very final portion of the year. So the third quarter of the year actually doesn't get included, which is kind of annoying to me. Yeah.
Then why would animators choose to release in Q3? I guess, do the awards even really mean anything to them? It's like, it's Crunchyroll Awards. It's not like the Oscars.
No, but Crunchyroll is like the largest, streaming platform that you can ask for, right? So it's like recognition.
I mean, does Crunchyroll go off of like a panel or is it fan voted?
It's fan voted.
Oh, okay.
So I think there's kind of a benefit, which is if you feel that maybe there was a strong year, you could always be part of the next season. But I think just in general, the reason why people wait is because there's more people that are off during this time, whether it's kids coming from school. Not entirely sure. This is just all kind of a guess.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I wish it was part of the Crunchyroll Awards because whenever I go to vote, I always forget that piece of information. And it's always upsetting because I'm like, why isn't Chainsaw Man here? Or like, why isn't this here? So I don't know. For me, it's just always kind of been a problem.
Or Bleach.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bleach wasn't off.
Yeah, Bleach, Blue Lock.
Blue Lock, yeah.
Like all these crazy shows. Yeah, so like honestly, the best shows probably of last year.
Well, now that you've mentioned Blue Lock, I'm invested. At first I was like, who cares about these awards? But now I'm on board. Okay.
Well,
And that also means that a lot of these, like Chainsaw Man's going to compete against itself.
Yeah.
Right, season 1 and season 2.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then like Jujutsu Kaisen's going to be locked into this year for like July. You have Bleach comes out again.
Yep.
So it's like you have a lot of season 2s or continuations that are going to be competing with itself because it wasn't eligible with last year.
Yeah.
And do we vote per season or do we just vote as a series? Like,
so you
for the
vote,
year.
I think like for the entire year. Yeah.
So like, let's say that we have Chainsaw Man season 1 and 2 within the same Crunchyroll Awards year. Can I vote for just Chainsaw Man? Or would I vote for Chainsaw Man 1 or Chainsaw Man 2?
I don't know. And the only reason I don't know that is because I don't really think it's ever happened that way before.
Yeah, right. And like, but it's going to be an issue for like best anime openings.
Yeah.
Right? So,
that's what you're most concerned about?
No, because it's like season 1 opening, season 2 opening. Blah, blah,
Okay. Yeah, that's true.
And let's be honest, if Chainsaw Man comes out with another bop as hard as it came out with this first season,
who am I going to vote for?
Exactly.
Yeah.
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 Or like Blue Lock, same thing.
Definitely. All right. So let's kind of get into some of the things that actually did win this year. We'll try to focus away from that, and then we'll kind of give all of our opinions. So the first one I want to talk about is Anime of the Year, and that went to Cyberpunk. Now, I haven't watched it. I know, Jess, you told me earlier that you haven't watched it, but Chris, I know that is something that you have loved. So can you just give us a little bit of a synopsis, and do you think it deserved it?
So first, I'm going to say yes. I think it did deserve it.
Oh.
Okay.
But so quick synopsis. I guess the best way I can say is that it takes place in a city called Night City, right? And it's heavily capitalistic based. So you have a corporation, so you have super rich class, and you're a very poor class. And if you don't work for the corporation or know anybody in the corporation, you're pretty much selling your life and your body parts for money to try to make rent.
Okay.
Ooh. Is there no other jobs available?
Yeah, you could be a hacker, a gangster,
So not
What
really
if,
a
like-
job.
You could be a gangster for corporations to fight other corporations, or you could become a cop.
But like farmers, like maybe
Honestly, there really wasn't
manufacturers?
any farmers in the city.
Do they eat like capsules for food or is it just like normal?
No, there's normal food. Or you can save up enough money to retire on the moon.
Interesting.
Oh.
Wait, so what's so good about the moon? Because in my
Yeah.
opinion, I would hate to retire on the moon.
There's no corporations.
But is there anything?
yeah, like there was like a theme park, open space that
Oh,
you could
okay.
actually do things. So like the main girl, my girl, Lucy, her dream was to go to the moon.
Okay.
David, the main protagonist, is kind of the one that promised her that he would take her to the moon. And unfortunately, he didn't get that chance because, am I allowed to say the ending?
I think by now you should be able to kind of at least
Yeah.
say something.
Skip
Spoiler
ahead
alert. Yeah.
10 seconds.
Oh, maybe more than 10 seconds.
Well, he dies, you know, and he dies in a very gruesome way. He ends up going literally psychotic, and he faces another guy that gave up his entire body to become like this cybernetic soldier, including his brain, his heart, and everything else.
Oh.
So he's just a cyborg, android,
Yeah.
whatever that's considered.
Just a robot if you've sold everything else.
Yeah, and he fought this guy, and then as David was dying, he said, "At least my Lucy got to go to the moon."
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
and then
You gotta love a good love story.
It actually kind of hit, especially when Lucy actually got her chance to go to the moon. The first thing she saw was young David when they first met, and as he was bouncing on the moon, and was like, "All right, Lucy, let's go," and then cutscene. It's actually really sweet. You guys should give it a shot.
I probably will. I think
Yeah.
it's just one of these things like,
Just be wary of the opening scene. I wasn't ready.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
I'll brace myself.
Yeah.
There's a little kentai into it,
Okay.
if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So
I
just
get what you're saying.
yeah. So it took me by surprise on the big screen. I was like, "Whoa!"
So now my question for you, Chris, is you think it deserved the best anime. Now, if we actually went from best anime for January through the end of December, do you still think that takes the cake over things like Chainsaw Man or Blue Lock? Or do you think that it was only really able to get that because of the way the Crunchyroll Awards are structured?
So that's hard. So I do. I would either have to vote for it. If you're going all of last year, I would either have to say Cyberpunk or Bleach
Oh.
as my top two to win it.
Okay.
Just because like the animation for both was so sick, and Bleach, I think it's been like 15 years or whatever,
Yeah.
8 years, whatever, how long it's been.
Yeah.
To finally complete the series and finally get it back, and it comes back with so much fire. So I love that. Cyberpunk was just, it took a different spin on anime that I was used to, especially because it's based off of Cyberpunk 2077.
Something like that.
Yeah. So
The failed game.
the failed game,
yeah.
like hard failed game. But you know what? This actually made me want to play the game again.
Interesting.
Yeah. Even though I hated the game, I'm like, you know what? Maybe it wasn't as bad as I thought it was. It definitely was. But
Yeah.
but the anime was actually really good. And the fact that it actually made me change my decision of whether or not I should play a game that I absolutely hated.
Yeah, that's pretty powerful.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I feel like the fact that there are a couple plot holes make it a little hard, just on the fact that, like, the very moment you gave me the synopsis, I was like, how are they eating? You know, there has to be farmers.
Well,
There has to
because
be.
I mean, you're just following essentially 16. He's a 16-year-old kid that joins a gang, starts robbing a bunch of corporations.
That's one does
with-
in the game.
Yeah, right. But he meets this girl who's when you find out her backstory, essentially of her being tortured to take. Yeah, she was tortured. I think it started when she was 6 years old,
Oh my
Oh my God.
gosh.
and forced her to do like cybernetic dives. So it was like trying to hack into other corporations' mainframes
Wow.
and like tear it apart from the inside out. The issue is if you die there, you die in real life. So she actually had to see
Oh.
one by one all of her friends that she knew since birth die until she was able
Wow.
to finally escape the facility and be on her own.
Interesting.
That's super sad.
It's
Yeah.
very sad. Yeah.
Yeah, but at least it has like a happy-ish ending, right? Like,
I mean, that's kind of
I-
like as sad of a happy ending as you can have.
Yeah.
yeah. And like the main protagonist, the reason he joins the gang, other than him being poor, was because so him and his mom were driving. They get into a really bad car accident, and he sees his mom dying. But then he sees an ambulance, and he's like, "Oh, great, we're gonna get help." They scan. They're like, "Oh, nope, they don't pay for us because in this world,
Yikes.
everything is paid for." So there's no
Ooh.
here IRL, right? You get hit by a car, ambulance gets called, doesn't matter if it's insurance or not, you're gonna get taken care of.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, whether or not you want to pay the $10,000 for that ambulance.
I know, for that 2 mile ride. Yeah, and instead they just kind of let her die there.
Okay.
And then what's even more jacked up is that when his mom died, just for him to to see his mom's body, had to pay money.
Oof.
He had to pay money to even get the personal items that like was with his mom.
My gosh.
Yeah. So he was just torn up, and then when he gets home, the first thing he sees is an eviction notice. Yeah. So he has no home, has nothing, and is just dead. You know. So it's a very sad, and like the story just follows him around, which is very depressing. Happy moments, but it's overall, I think it's a great choice for the anime of the year.
Okay.
All right. So going on to the next one, we have best animation. Now, I think you guys might be able to guess if you haven't already seen who won it, but it was Demon Slayer. Yeah. And in my opinion, I don't think there was a single studio that did beat them in terms of animation this year.
I agree.
Yeah. I mean,
I disagree.
who would you say?
Cyberpunk.
Cyberpunk.
Come on, let them have one thing. I mean,
No,
I know this is.
I love Studio Ufotable, right? Because they came out with Fate, and Fate's like one of my favorite series. But like, Demon Slayer did a very good job. But I just think Cyberpunk brought something different that we haven't seen in this style of animation before. So I kind of give them a little bit more brownie points.
Okay.
For that.
But it's not who brought something new, right? It's who had the best animation.
But I think that's what had the best animation.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I haven't watched it, but I did see some clips, and it looks really cool. But I think with Demon Slayer, it was also seamless. I mean, it truly is like a very beautiful, aesthetically pleasing anime.
Well, especially with all the breathing arts. Yeah.
Exactly,
Can I have a hot take here on the breathing arts? I love Demon Slayer. I think they've done a great job with it. Now, what really upsets me,
I think I know what you're going to say,
is that they came out and said that the water effects, the lightning effects, they're not there. So it's not, I guess maybe should they have not won best animation? Because at that point, it's like photoshopping animation. Like there's no difference between me swinging a sword and Tanjiro swinging a sword.
Yeah, it's because you're not water breathing, bro. That's the big difference.
but like is Zenitsu really moving that fast at this point? You know, and the fact that he was like struck by lightning, I thought that's what gave him like the affinity for these lightning powers.
Well, what really confuses me too is, you know, obviously those effects are consistent, right? When they're doing the water effect, you know, any specific move that they're doing, it's always the same water effect. Yeah. Now, it really makes me wonder, like, is that all in Tanjiro's head only? Or is everyone all simultaneously imagining that? Or is no one imagining that? It has absolutely no place in that anime, and they just kind of photoshopped it on, like you're saying.
Well, I kind of think, so you guys watched Avatar: The Last Airbender, obviously, right? Yeah. So you know the air, no one else can see, right? So
you know, I actually wondered that.
Yeah. No, so I think they can see.
They can't see.
Have you ever seen hot steam coming off of like boiling water? You can see
but that's not air.
distortion.
So actually,
that's water.
Yeah, actually they can't see it, and there's actually the one scene where they think that Momo is the earthbender rather than the other person, and what's actually happening is it's Aang like through the vent.
But she was supposed to be the one pretending to do it.
And the fact that they didn't see the air, I guess, does proof that they can't do that.
So the reason why I bring that up, it's same thing, right? With their breathing. Just because you can't see it, I don't necessarily think maybe it's not there. I know that it wouldn't make any sense to me if it wasn't fire or water or lightning or poison or whatever it is.
The poison one really is confusing.
Yeah. Or the rock breathing, earth breathing, whatever it's called. Yeah. So.
Well, the difference though is air that Aang is controlling is actually there. He's actually controlling it, and they just kind of stylize it so we as viewers can see it. Yeah. Now, when it comes to water, it's like, are they wet? Like after they got sliced, is there water on them or not? Right? Like that's.
So then, would you say it's the same thing? They do it for the viewership.
If they were actually wet.
No, I mean like the breathing styles, like seeing like the water, seeing the fire. You think that that's more for us?
No, I'm saying if it's just for us, then that means that they're actually getting wet, right?
Right.
But I have no idea how they could showcase all this water and fire if they don't even feel the wetness or the anything like that on there.
Okay.
And then what are they doing? Like, they're not even doing it for us at that point. They're just doing it for funsies.
Yeah, and the thing that's like so annoying about it is that I thought, okay, that's a great way to combat these demons who actually have these abilities that they're using.
So in this world, the demons can have magical powers, but for some reasons the humans can't.
So what you're saying is that Cyberpunk deserved it.
You know what? You're right.
Yeah.
I'm actually retracting my agreement on that.
I'm just saying.
Detective Conan, the case is closed.
But who do you guys think should have won it if it was going for year to year?
For year to year, it's so hard because I don't think there was really too many things that blew me away from an animation standpoint. I really liked Chainsaw Man. I think that obviously the animation really upset a lot of people
Because of the 3D stuff?
because of the 3D. Yeah.
I think we all know that we all hate 3D animation.
Yeah.
And it's kind of ridiculous that they keep trying to force it onto us.
I think the whole purpose is that it allows them to pump out more, especially, when you have these studios where the animators are seriously overworked, right? So I think they're trying to combat that. And I guess a good question is, would you be fine with moving towards, like, let's say maybe a Chainsaw Man-esque 3D where everything is like Chainsaw Man, but we're able to have more animes? Or would you rather them scale back than what they're doing right now? And
well, see, I actually think
traditional animation,
like the more 3D stuff that they do, it's gonna get better. It's just gonna suck until we get to that point.
Yeah, and we've come a long way since like stuff like Ajin.
Well,
Oh
we
my
or
can't.
Code Lyoko.
The reason that I feel so like such a hard ass about it is, have you guys seen Tekken?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If
well,
wait,
there's
wait,
a lot
wait.
of problems with Tekken.
Tekken's great.
Having things like 3D means having things like Tekken, I'd rather scale back.
But
Now,
that's fully 3D though.
Exactly. And I don't want to give an inch, take a mile, right? Like,
Yeah,
I don't want to be like, okay, Chainsaw Man 3D's okay. And then they're like, oh, it's okay in that case, and then just pump out a bunch of Tekkens.
Well, I think Tekken wasn't necessary. I think Tekken was a choice. You have to understand that Tekken is a game, so they were trying to go for more of that cutscene,
That gaming,
like game, like animation where you see 3D and it's never going to be as high quality as just standard animation, but that's what people are used to when they play Tekken or when they play any game. Like Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm has a lot of those cutscenes as well, where it looks nothing like Naruto, but you still have some great some great fights, not great animation.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
So I don't know.
But like Attack on Titan, ever since Mappa took over, there was a lot of 3D here and there. And I know a lot of people were upset, but I think Mappa has done a more than decent job when it comes to 3D. And as long as they keep blending it, I don't necessarily have an issue.
Yeah.
But if it's a straight up like 3D, maybe not.
I will say Mappa has done a much better job on blending 3D than things like Blue Lock, where in the background of Blue Lock, when there's sometimes like the 3D-ness, it's noticeable. It is. Blending is a exaggeration.
Like
for
the
that
goalie in Blue Lock absolutely kills me.
Yeah, just even some of the characters sometimes when they're running in the background, you can tell that it's 3D, and it was just not done very well.
It adds essence.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So I think we're all kind of in agreement where maybe Demon Slayer deserved it, but I think there is a case for Cyberpunk as well.
But I also think Bleach should be on there.
Oh, well, that's if we include the whole year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like year to year. But that's just because, like, when you finally get to... Can I spoil Bleach at this point?
Let's try to avoid too many spoilers.
Okay.
We already
Just-
spoiled all of Cyberpunk, so let's
Yeah.
try to scale back on.
I was saying the main captain, boss. And him solely is the reason why I think it should at least be in the running.
Okay.
like nominated for it.
That's
Okay.
fair. Maybe it'll come up this year.
Hopefully.
Yeah. All right. Moving on to the next one. Best main character this year was Eren. Eren Yeager from Attack on Titan. Now, if we're going for the Crunchyroll time frame, it's hard. I can't think of anyone on the top of my head that would be Eren Yeager. But if we're going from year to year, then I don't know. I think there's obviously Isagi. And beyond that, there's also Denji, who was also a very compelling character.
I would agree with you on Isagi. I mean, he is not my favorite character in the show by far, but he is a baller for sure. When he called Baro a donkey, I was like, oh my gosh. Like, every episode I watch, the more I'm compelled to like Isagi, which is very interesting for me.
Yeah, especially for a main character, right? Where most of the time I feel no one's favorite person is a main character.
Yeah.
Outside of like maybe a handful of animes, which is why I get why they gave it to Eren, because honestly, if it wasn't year to year, Eren did have a quite controversial year.
Yeah.
But Eren was the right choice. Just because, like, I don't know, hot take, I think Eren was 100% right in everything he's doing.
Ooh, just because I know what his like real goal in terms of why he's doing it, I disagree. I think if he was doing it for the sake of like, let's just genocide every single human being. That's not even genocide, right? That's just literally murdering every single human on this planet. Unalived, sorry. I think that would have made more sense to me than this whole bullshit of like,
But without knowing that, on track of what he's doing right now.
Yeah, like if you were actually in their unit. That was what upset me so much about this like past season is everyone was so in love with Captain Erwin. Captain Erwin doesn't care how many lives he has to get rid of in order to do the greater good. Meanwhile, this guy really just wanted to find out what was in the basement the whole time.
Yeah.
But
true.
Whatever. Like everyone thought of this guy like he's willing to sacrifice everything
for humanity.
Eren does it. And they're like, well, Eren, maybe we should kind of take it back a little. What's all this senseless violence about?
But it's not senseless.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, the only two options really were either Eren or, what was Eren's? Zeke or Zeke. He also had a viable choice. Now, I would have taken the other option. But
yeah, agreed. I will say, here's another hot take for you. I think that Levi made the wrong choice in who to make the Titan. And I know the people who are ahead are going to say, well, the person he did choose, he ends up doing some, great thing or whatever, right? Here's a hot take for you. Captain Erwin never would have allowed that to happen. Never. He would have thought a million steps ahead. We would have never been here. We would have been on track to, I don't know, some kind of peace or like murder, unaliveness in a great way.
The unaliveness probably would have happened a lot sooner.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like it would have been planned out. It would have been methodical. It would have been smart. And instead of, we got someone who like makes this last minute split decision that ends up, being helpful, but ultimately not really the best choice, I think, for the long run.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, but we all know why I'm blanking on his name. The one that's got saved instead of...
Armin?
Armin comes in clutch. Give the guy a break.
I mean, it's the least he could do. He was so helpful for up until, before the time skip. He was like so smart. Like, oh, they must be within the walls. Like genius, right? And then the moment he turns into a Titan, he just loses all sense of strategy. It's crazy. They just nerf him. They gave him the side treatment.
Dang.
They did. That's don't remind me about Sai.
Yeah, no, they gave him the side.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true though.
Sad.
It's pretty embarrassing. All right. So this next one is the best action anime.
Ooh.
And although it was Demon Slayer, and although I think Demon Slayer had great animation, I don't think it should be considered the best action anime.
Yeah.
Whether it was whole year or even Crunchyroll's year. For Crunchyroll's year, I would give it to Attack on Titan.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, incredible action anime. My problem with Demon Slayer is it's like so mid for a high tier anime, if you ask me.
Yeah, it's true though.
But I agree.
Yeah, like I love Demon Slayer. I love the movies, the action's hype, but honestly, it's like at the bottom of my list of what I care about coming out.
Yeah.
See, so I think honestly, if it wasn't for Studio Ufotable with its animation quality, I don't think anybody would be talking about Demon Slayer.
100%.
Like it would be, it would still have a fan base, but it wouldn't be nearly as big as what it is right now.
Yeah.
Because like every character is one dimensional, right? Which is why there are so many characters.
And there's like zero growth
Zero.
outside of their strengths. Like I don't care about like everyone's gonna grow stronger. Like it doesn't matter if I pick up like carpentry today, of course I'll get better at carpentry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like the problem is I want people that actually develop as a character, and Tanjiro, Zenitsu, and Inosuke have not changed at all in who they are.
Mm-hmm.
No, if anything, they dig a bigger foothold into who they are.
Yep.
They don't actually grow or expand in any kind of way.
And I feel like at this point, every single Demon Slayer movie is, you have these three people that are supposed to be the main people. But honestly, I feel like everyone now goes just to see the Hashiras.
Yes.
You know, like I could really care less about any one of them. Like, just give me more Hashira battles and I'm fine. And I think they figured that out.
Yeah. And I feel like Nezuko has had the most growth.
Yeah,
which is so ridiculous.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah, but like, if we're talking about Crunchyroll year, so that'd be January to October. Yeah, Attack on Titan.
Yeah.
I think so.
Now, when we take into the whole year
to year.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's hard.
I actually love Chainsaw Man.
Chainsaw Man had some great action.
Yeah, it did.
Some heartfelt moments.
Some really good scenes.
A lot of
I would
revenge.
give it to that.
Sweet revenge.
Sweet revenge.
Which
Worth
we
it.
love.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I definitely, and I like the fact that Chainsaw Man knows when to take itself seriously and when to actually break that and make it into a joke.
Yeah. And one thing I don't like about Demon Slayer is this new thing that they're doing where they release a movie and then split it into the season. And I get, like, you know, the monetary benefits of that, but it just feels like they're kind of spitting on anime culture. Like,
100%.
the whole, you know, waiting for each episode to come out, the, you know, like, wanting to know what happens next. I just feel like especially because they split it into a season afterwards. It'd be different if they just came out with the movie and they called it that.
Yeah, and it's like 10 episodes.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Like this whole season 2, I'm like, so it's Mugen Train? All right, I'm just not going to watch it.
I didn't either.
So I waited till like, okay, now it's actually starting. Got it. Now I'll go. The entertainment district? Okay, I'll watch it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So the next one. This one I think I have a big problem with. It was, I believe it was Best Comedy, which went to Spy Family. Now, here's my problem with that. I personally don't really find Spy Family that comedic. I think it's very slice of life. I think there's comedic aspects to it, but to call it a better comedy than things along the lines of Kaguya-sama Love is War, which was during the same time frame, it just lost, is, I think, more so a reflection of Spy Family being, you know, the new hot thing this season. But
recency bias.
Yeah. As where I thought, you know, there's not a single season, maybe not even a single episode of, you know, Love is War, which isn't funnier than the entirety of Spy Family.
Well, a part of it, too, is the fact that people are voting. It's like popular vote, right?
Yeah.
And so it might just be that people like Spy X Family better than Kaguya-sama. And it's not necessarily that they think it's a better comedy. They just like it better. And for some reason, it was labeled as a comedy.
Yeah, that is something I have an issue that Crunchyroll does do.
Yeah.
right? Because they add a bunch of subtext saying like, oh, this belongs in this category, and it kind of fits this category, and kind of fits this category.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like I do agree that Spy X Family is a slice of life anime.
Yep. Very, very little comedy.
Yeah,
Like, it is comedic, but I wouldn't call it a comedy.
like I think Chainsaw Man is more of a comedy
Yeah.
than that.
I could get behind that.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so I think we're all in agreement.
Yeah.
Spy X Family shouldn't have won.
Yep. 100%. I think that one was an easy one.
Yeah.
So the next one is best drama. Now, that one went to Attack on Titan, and I'm going to disagree
What?
for the sake of disagreeing. Well, not even for the sake of disagreeing, just because I actually don't think that it was a better drama than 86.
Was that?
86 was it actually nominated. It just didn't win. Now, I think the hard part is anything that Attack on Titan is going to be in,
It's gonna
unless
win.
there's something like Demon Slayer, you know, which has that same popularity, just because of the amount of people that have watched it, people are going to vote for it. And I know it's kind of a hot take, but I thought that 86 was really great, you know, compared to, you know, one specific season of Attack on Titan. I think if you look at it as a whole, you can appreciate Attack on Titan, but, you know, it was a one season anime, which you really don't get much more of. And I think there's like beauty in the simplicity of a one season anime where I can just binge it and then enjoy it, right? But I really didn't like the whole concept that, you know, everyone just votes for Attack on Titan because it's the only one that people really know.
Yeah, I can see your point, but it's hard to kind of separate the fact that yes, so season 4, final season, part 1, part 2, whatever it's
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
You know, as a whole, right? It's kind of hard to separate the fact that the great story that it took us through, right? Opposed to 86, which I really did enjoy 86, especially like I liked how it ended. It was actually a clean
beautiful.
ending.
Yeah.
There's no, are they gonna possibly spin the? No, it's done.
Yeah.
Which is what I wish more anime, like more shows would just do, right?
Yeah.
But it's hard to really separate what the last 4, 5 seasons, whatever, of Attack on Titan have really built up and say 86 was better.
I can do it. 86 was better.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from, especially because if we're looking at just the last season of Attack on Titan,
Yeah.
and we're looking at how many bad episodes are there, and I'm
None.
looking at this very subjectively.
None.
I thought all of the Marley episodes were bad. I mean, okay, no, I get that they were important. I'm not saying they were unimportant. What I'm saying is they were boring. I get like, oh, it's very interesting to a point. You know, I get why it's important that he had to spend time with them, but that doesn't take away from the opinion that for me, the Marley scenes, like when he was in Marley, they were boring. I didn't really care about Rocco or Flocco or whatever his name was.
You didn't care about Gabby?
Gabby,
I didn't care about
Gabby
Gabby.
deserved to die.
When the other
Sorry,
characters died, unalived, I honestly didn't shed a tear. You know, it was so boring that I wish they died earlier.
Yeah.
Unalived earlier.
Gosh, unalived earlier. That being said, I will say in 86 there were also bad episodes. And I have the same issue. It's every episode when they're in the Federation and they're like, oh, learning how to be their own person. Again, I get that it's
Hold
important.
up.
I get that it's important.
So you don't like freedom?
Yeah.
No,
Okay, so
it
for
was
you-
boring. They could have told the story of them being free better. It was boring.
No, so what you're saying, you're comparing like apples and oranges here. Like on the Attack on Titan part, I completely agree with you. You have like 5 or 6 episodes where they focus solely on Marley.
It was like 4.
It was
No.
4.
Oh, okay. So they focus like solely on Marley, which is completely different than the characters that they focused on, you know, completely like all the season before. you still had the emphasis on all the same characters. It's just you didn't like the fact that they were free and not fighting.
Well, it was boring because when they're fighting, it's very fun, it's very fast paced. But during those episodes where they were in the Federation and free, it was very slow. It was very, you get the sense that it's wandering a little bit, which is on purpose. They're trying to showcase that these characters have no purpose in life.
Yeah.
And they do that really well, but it also leaves a very boring feeling that I just didn't feel like it had to be so many episodes of that.
I think they did it in a way where it reflects what happens when you're so used to doing something for so long that when you no longer have to do it, you're right, you do lose yourself, right? You see it when you have someone that's worked for whatever corporation business, whatever, 20 years, and they're retired. What do they do?
Yep.
They fish, golf, try to figure out if their grandkids need any help.
Yep.
You can say the same thing when it comes to like people that have served like 20 years in the military. They get out, they're like, they continue to run, and then they stop, and then they get fat, and then things happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just think it's the same thing, where it's like we were so used to seeing them fight for something, and all of a sudden, what do I do now? And I actually do appreciate that.
Yeah.
But did you find those episodes fun to watch?
But I actually felt it actually had more of an impact for me.
Oh, interesting.
I thought there was some really good episodes in that. I think the friend that Shine ends up,
Are you talking about the little princess?
No, not the princess. The white-haired guy. That was a really great story they built up, that eventually started to lead into the rest of the action. I thought that was great. And much like what Chris said, I enjoyed seeing these people try to deal with, survivor's remorse pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, important episodes, just for me, very boring. But to round out what I was originally saying, for me, I can see Attack on Titan as having 4 bad episodes in their very long history. And so I would give them my vote over 86, which I love. I love that anime. But it's only one season, and for them to have 4 bad episodes for me in only one season, that's too much.
Okay.
And so in terms of like percentage wise, that's why I would give my vote to
How many episodes was 86 again? 24?
24.
Something like that.
I know.
I know like 2 of them were recaps or
yeah,
something like that.
I think like 3 of them were recaps actually.
But they label them as like 0.5, so that way you're not.
They?
Yeah, that way you're not
you can just skip
confused.
it. Yeah. I do remember that. That's why I was like, I'm not watching that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The really unfortunate part about 86 is a lot of people really liked it, and then what ended up happening is when they escaped the Empire or wherever they originally were, they went on hiatus because of COVID, and they came back really without anyone knowing. Even myself, I didn't know, and all of a sudden, a lot of people were like, I just didn't get. How it ended like that. I hope they come out with another season. And then it's like, no, it's over.
Yeah.
Like, where did you get to? And everyone always says the same thing.
Yeah, I literally found it 2 episodes prior to it ending. I'm like, wait, it's back?
Yeah.
What?
Yep.
Yeah. Because
Same here.
Yeah, there was I didn't get even a notification of our Crunchyroll app. Hey, 86 is back.
Yeah.
That would have been nice.
Yeah. If I could vote for best anime ending, 86.
That's fair.
Yeah, that's fair.
I might give it best animation just for the last scene where they're in the field of red flowers. That was just like cinematically beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. On to the next one. I actually have a problem with this, and you guys are probably going to understand why immediately. Best fantasy goes to Demon Slayer. Another one where they rob it just because everyone knows them and they were the only one that everyone knew from this category. But the person that they beat out was Mushoku Tensei.
Let's see, I don't even understand how Demon Slayer is considered a fantasy.
Yeah, because that's not real water or fire effects. But I guess they do have demons, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but does that make it fantasy?
Yeah, because at
I
what
guess
point
it depends. Do you
isn't
believe
everything
in
a fantasy?
demons?
No, but like I mean, as a genre, right? Is that considered a fantasy?
I think so. I mean,
I think
well,
fantasy has
now
very blurred lines.
Yeah.
Because why isn't Attack on Titan a fantasy then?
It is.
It is a fantasy. It's a
It
dark
is a fantasy?
fantasy.
Yeah.
Dark
Okay.
fantasy. Yeah. Yeah, because fantasies are supposed to follow certain magic power systems, whether it's a hard power system or a soft power system, I don't necessarily know what demon slayer would be considered, because like there's really no rules other than like as long as your sword is made out of the stone,
Yeah.
it can kill demons.
I think maybe the power system is the breathing techniques.
But then what? So what? So the demons would just be all the blood art, blood art stuff, right?
Yeah.
But not all demons have access to that. So like,
yeah, that's true.
So I don't understand how it. Maybe I'm just misunderstanding how fantasy is considered, but I don't understand why it's even in that category.
I think they just robbed it.
Yeah, I do too.
Same.
But I do think maybe fantasy is just, could it happen in real life? No, then it's a fantasy.
That's so like broad though.
Yeah, because like 99% of
Anime.
animes.
Like,
I mean, like most of these things would never happen in real life. Even like a guy like all of a sudden falling just miraculously under someone's like skirt. Like that's not gonna happen in real life either. You're gonna move out of the way.
But there is a 1 in a billion chance that it'll happen. Then it's not fantasy. Like for example, I would say Spy X Family is not fantasy because there is a world where that could happen. There
she's
is
a telepath.
Because of scientific testing and like experimentation. So I could kind of get behind why that's not a fantasy.
Yeah.
But there is no world in which we're gonna have demons with like blood art and like it's just not a world that will ever happen.
Can make it happen.
Yeah.
Blood enhanced.
You want to get into some conspiracy theories?
I
Who
know.
knows? Maybe they're out there right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, watch out.
Yeah. With all that T virus, you know.
All right. We just have.
Wait, but did we say who we wanted to win?
Oh, I thought I said it when I was saying Mushoku Tensei.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. Great anime. And this is from someone who doesn't love a lot of isekais.
Yeah.
Amazing. Like I loved it. I loved every part of it.
Well, I love the fact that they actually invented their own languages to be put in there. That just showed me that how much they actually cared about their series, that they're going to add in different dialects of different things, right?
Yeah.
To make it seem more real or possible.
Yeah. I love that he didn't bring in some kind of trick from his old life to become super OP in his new life from the very beginning. I really appreciate that he has to work real hard for it.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, he had like the, I guess, added advantage of having consciousness or
Since
like
birth.
Not conscious. I guess everyone has consciousness. Since birth, but
is that really an advantage though? Because would you want to remember all that stuff since you were an infant?
I think
probably not.
I think not for most, but he was kind of a weirdo.
That's true. Yeah, dude,
So-
his sacred treasure. Okay.
Oh, he has too many sacred treasures.
Yeah.
All right, heading into the very next one, we have Best Romance, which, or I guess that's also the last one that we're going to talk about today. Best Romance, which Love is War 1. I think that's great. Again, I wish it won comedy. I think I can't really think of one that would have gone up against. I think the one that maybe could have gone up against it that same season was Dress Up Darling.
Ooh, that was a great anime.
Yeah, and I think it was really good. Now, I think it kind of fell into that same one where unfairly, Kaguya-sama has just a bigger following, so people are always going to vote for it. But I'm not upset that they won. Now, if it was throughout the whole year, maybe it'd be a different story. I thought there was a lot of good ones towards the end of the year. You had Call of the Night, which is,
I'm like at episode 8 on that right now.
And how do you like it?
Right?
It took me like 2 episodes to fully get into like the animation of it.
Yeah.
Because it's different.
It is.
Yeah.
But not like a bad different. I was just like, at first I was like, do I like this? And then like 3rd episode, I was like, okay, no, I like it. This is actually pretty dope.
Yeah.
It's actually really, really good so far. So I'm enjoying it.
And I'm really happy to see animation that's different because I feel like 90% of animes out there just have like the same very generic, animation style. And I like to see different colors. So, one of my favorite animes of all time is No Game, No Life. And I love the fact that they brought like a dreamy look into it and they brought a similar aspect into it with Call of the Night. So
yeah,
I like seeing that.
Just on a darker contrast. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Exactly.
I agree though. thank you for that recommendation on that one. I actually,
Yeah.
I actually did enjoyed it. It was a little. I'm like, oh, this is. I actually no idea it was actually about. Oh yeah, I could just say it's not a spoiler. Vampires.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, oh, this is a vampire show. This is dope.
Right.
All right. Yeah, it's like one of my my like subsects of like favorite genres, the types of to watch.
Yeah, and I love that
Interesting,
they're
yeah.
casual and they don't take themselves too seriously. Like it's a very casual watch. You don't have
Yeah.
to know the lore of everything. You know, you can just
Yep.
relax and enjoy yourself. You know, you
Yeah.
don't have to like read into every line. Like sometimes when you're watching Attack on Titan or something that's very serious, you feel like if you look away for a second, you miss something important. But
Yeah.
you don't feel that kind of pressure with this, which is really nice. And the story is good. The characters are great. And it gets cuter and cuter as the episodes go on. And I really, really like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. Now, another one that I would probably throw into this mix is More Than a Married Couple. I really enjoyed the story. I understand the ridiculousness of the plot, but at the same time, to have such a ridiculous plot and yet make me not care about the fact that it's so ridiculous,
Yeah.
I think says something about a show.
Oh yeah, it just because the characters are so well written,
Yeah.
Yes.
especially to fit into that world.
Yeah, and I love triangles. Love forks. Is it a love fork? Because it's only it starts off as like a love square, then goes into like a love two-prong, a love family tree. I don't know how to say this.
Do like a spork.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, and it's really weird. You know, you think that you have this person that he should end up with, and then it quickly changes, and now I don't really even want to see that other girl anymore. Yeah, I just like the relationship that's bloomed between the two main characters so much.
And their story isn't it's not very new. It's not anything innovative. It's not, you know, completely out of the box, but it's so interesting and it's so fun to watch. And it's really cute. Like there's definitely some moments that like really tug at your heartstrings. Like some moments that give me goosebumps because they're a little cringe.
Yeah.
But they do it really well in a way that's entertaining on every single episode. Because one thing is, if you have a lot of tropes going on in one anime, it can get boring really fast.
Agreed.
I agree. So no one's gonna vote for Chainsaw Man as their favorite romance anime.
Ooh.
You know, you do bring up a good point.
Yeah.
No.
Now, what do I mean by that? Do I mean Makima and Denji, or do I mean I always forget his
Aki?
name. Yeah, Aki. And
I always forget her name too.
I always forget her name. Smoker.
Ghost.
Yeah. Because that
You
was
guys literally tried to buy a print of her just last week.
you don't need to know someone's name to enjoy what their character stood for.
Exactly.
That's
Yeah.
fair.
And if I had to remember every single anime character's name, I would
Go insane.
go insane. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would want you to remember every single anime character's name that you want to put on our wall.
That's impossible.
Yeah.
It's just such a small number of characters.
I think
you know?
I'm good right now.
Yeah. Yeah. I've been looking around. Okay. I think, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What's
Yeah.
that guy's name right there?
Which one?
The one opposite 02.
Oh, don't ask that question.
Yeah. You said guy.
I didn't.
You said girl.
Can
not
I
guy.
just say?
Oh!
Can I just say? I didn't vote to get that poster up on the wall because of the guy. So I know
Exactly.
02.
Yeah. I'm just saying. You specifically said every girl, not
Yeah.
guy. So
Can we get a playback? I would want you to remember every single anime character's name that you want to put on our wall.
Yeah.
I told you I was right.
I heard what I wanted.
Yeah. Speaking of which, time to get into the final things I want to talk about today,
Okay.
which are Crunchyroll. If you're watching this, which I don't get why you would, but
'Cause we're
Who is
great.
Crunchyroll?
if anyone is watching this from Crunchyroll, please put back Best Boy and Best Girl
Yes.
segments.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why they took this away, but I feel like that was always something that got people going, right? Whether it was like everyone agreed or everyone disagreed.
Most of the time I was disagree.
It was,
Yeah.
most of the time it was disagree because
Yeah.
everyone has their own favorite girl and favorite boy.
Yeah.
So I guess going into it, I'll start off with favorite girl category. For me, and this would be spanning the whole year, it would be Kikori from Bocchi Rock. For me, she was the bassist, the one that helped out Bocchi a lot, kind of became her mentor. A little bit of a drunkard, but that's not what's important about her. She, for me, is a must-save at all costs character. The fact that usually people with these tendencies that are so gifted, but also, so self-absorbed that they have to drink so much, usually they tend to, not really be too helpful or not care too much. But, she's been there for Bocchi since day one, from helping her to sell tickets to actually being one of the first people to actually show up to like her first show, giving her advice and telling her how much, future, or how bright of a future she sees in Bocchi. For me, I think I really had to be like Hikori.
For me, I have to go with Akari from. Did I butcher that name?
No.
Okay.
I think it was. You're talking about from More Than a Married Couple, right?
Yeah. Here's the thing. She is a typical like popular girl.
Tsundere for sure.
Yeah, kind of tsundere. Not so hot and cold. Definitely more so leaning in the middle, but. She is a very supportive, caring, and non-toxic character. One thing I really appreciate about her is, she likes one guy in the beginning. She ends up liking a different guy who had always liked this other girl. And she doesn't try to sabotage them. She doesn't have ill intent towards the girl. She's very, very good to her. And she doesn't try to do anything underhanded, which is, like, it's so inspiring, Yeah. I love girls that support other girls. I think that's very crucial, and it's just so nice to see her, because the whole conflict, right, is the fact that she likes the guy that is in love with the other girl, but she's just so civil. She's just so good throughout the whole thing, and she just really shows her true character, which is a very, very genuinely good person while being still very fun and entertaining to watch.
Yeah, that's fair.
Well, I'm going to have to go with Lucy from Cyberpunk. It's just because, like, one, she has probably one of the coolest designs I've seen on a female character in a very long time. And the fact that she never has to lean on anybody to be saved is so big. Because I don't know about you guys, I get sick and tired of having, like, the main girl be the, oh my gosh, I'm the damsel in distress, help, right?
Yes. Sakura.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And she's not useless, right? She's actually a key core member of, the gang, right? Yeah. But the thing is, she loves David so much to the point where she goes back to the point where she was seeing all of her friends die to delete any data that this corporation has on David to find him. But she doesn't tell him, because the moment she does, he knows. He's like, well, if they're looking for me, I'm going to go put a fight, right? But instead of doing that, she puts herself in harm's way to protect him. Aww. Right? And mind you, the whole time, and to protect him, she's putting herself back into a volatile state where she can't physically move, but the corporation can still track her. Mm-hmm. So she's putting herself in harm's way every night. She does it for David.
Yeah.
To help him.
I do love that. I love when people break away from the trope of weak female characters, and really get back to here's like a boss that can really do it all.
Yeah.
Kind
of like
stunning.
The red hair girl from what's her name from Mushoku Tensei?
Oh my gosh.
I know.
The cousin, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She is a boss. Yeah. She's so strong. I love that for her. Love it.
I mean, most of the women in Mushoku Tensei, that's something you can be like pretty.
Oh, like the elf.
Impressed of. Yeah.
What's her name? The elf that her childhood friend. Dang.
I might be wrong and seem really stupid for it, but I think it's like Elvie or something like that.
Is that no?
Sylvie.
You were close. Yeah, Sylvie. Yeah, because like the only time he's technically helped her was when she was getting bullied, right? Mm-hmm. And then she stood up, was like, and then like, all right, I'm gonna learn magic, and then, but you're right.
No, yeah, even the mom is like not useless at all. She's like a super strong mage, and then his teacher was also what was she, a king, an emperor class mage or something like that?
Yeah, like
she,
the
she ended it there.
Yeah.
like the highest class you can get up to or something, right?
Yeah.
But
So
when she first started teaching, she was only, she wasn't king yet, king level mage.
She was like the second highest, right?
yeah, no,
I think
she
no,
was like
she was
third
lower.
highest.
Yeah,
Third highest was
but
it?
she left, and then she did it.
Yeah.
You know, she
Yeah.
got stronger. She got the highest one, which is like so good for her.
I also want to point out that I love his mom because she had enough guts to leave Paul.
Oh my gosh. I literally, when I started watching Mushoku Tensei, I said the dumbest thing. Because in the beginning, Paul seems like such a good guy. And I remember telling Chris, I was like, you know, I really love that Paul is such a good dad. And we love to see a good dad. You know, I'm so tired of these bad dads with all these flaws.
So does the maid.
Yeah. And then and literally like the next episode, I think.
Yeah, I was like, keep watching.
Came out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
And I know Paul gets a redemption in some people's eye. And, you know, redemption is in the eye of the judger, I guess. Because ultimately, who are we to say that he was redeemed or not, right? But in my opinion, he was not. I don't think there's recovery for him.
What
I
if
agree on that.
what if he dies for her?
I don't care.
Dang, savage.
So Jess, it's safe to say that Paul is not your best boy. So who would be your
Shocking.
best boy?
So for that year, my best boy has to go to Hawks from My Hero Academia.
Ooh.
I know,
More
sweaty
than
fandom,
Eraserhead?
but for sure. Are you
Eraserhead just.
Okay, yeah, that was
Yeah.
pretty hot. But I mean, Hawks got his whole wings burned, and mind you, when I
Yeah.
first started watching it, I didn't see the big like hubbub about Hawks. But
Did you not have eyes when you first watched
I
Hawks?
don't know. He
He's
really
quite the
grew
dreamboat.
on me. Yeah.
Yeah. I want to be wrapped up
Yeah.
in his wings myself.
Mhm.
You know?
Even with his baby wings, like I don't mind, you know.
His baby
I
wings.
don't think he really has any baby wings right now.
Yeah, he does. He has
No,
little
I
baby
know. They're
wings. Yeah.
super small.
But
More like feather.
yeah, but he is a dreamboat through and through. And did I mention he is of age? We love an over 18 dreamboat.
Yeah.
I say as it feels like this quietness feels like you guys are gonna give me an under 18 answer.
I 100% am. But
I
Chris,
think
you can
he's like
go.
17, isn't he?
Hawks?
Hawks?
Yeah.
No.
No, he's
way.
21.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like 21.
Yeah.
You're right. You're
Yeah.
right.
So
Stop
Chris.
trying to make me into something I'm not.
Chris, who's your best boy?
My best boy would be wow, I can't speak. Yeah, why can't I pronounce it?
Byakuya.
Yeah, I don't know why I can't say that, but it's caught in my mouth.
You keep going by, it's
Yeah.
a B.
Byakuya. Yeah. Byakuya?
Byakuya.
Kuchiki.
Yuck.
Fukia?
Yeah, we're going to go with Captain Kuchiki.
Okay.
One, how can I love his character design? Right? Plus, he has the best Bankai I have ever seen. And like his final Bankai, if you guys got like get that far, we get to see, what was it? Like he has like a hundred swords that just fall from the sky. Beautifully animated.
Yeah.
And it just, I personally love, can I say why? Yeah. Why he saved his quote unquote sister?
Why is that?
Because it reminds him of his wife.
Oh, a little incesty, but
Yeah, it's a little
No,
aw.
but she was adopted. And they adopted her strictly because
Why are you leading us down like a stepsister?
Yeah, this is
No,
this
no,
is like
no,
this
no.
is like a Woody Allen story.
No.
Are you sure you're reading the manga and not the doujinshi of this?
I have. But this is a judgment-free zone, okay? No, but the fact that he's gone so far for his sister,
Yeah.
you know, in the beginning, and then he took in somebody from like an outside perspective, meaning Ichigo, right? And it was like, all right, protect us. So in his final moments when he was like, protect us, he gave up all of his pride as he knew as being a Soul Reaper, right? And asking Ichigo to help protect the Soul Society.
Oh,
Yeah,
and he's kind of hot.
very. It's a dreamboat.
Yeah, dreamboat.
speaking of dreamboats, I wouldn't say he's a dreamboat, but he's definitely my best boy, which I know probably shouldn't be my best boy, probably shouldn't be anyone's best boy, but how could you not love a man who is the master of calligraphy and piano and tea ceremonies, Iono Koji from Classroom of the Elite? I mean, man, did this man pop off.
But he kind of ugly, no?
No.
No, I think he's a nice, decent-looking young man.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna. That's such a political answer.
I'm not gonna say he's hot, but you have to understand, like, there's a lot of girls that like him in this anime, so he has to be someone that people consider attractive.
And not to mention his intellect.
Yeah, his intellect is like amazing. So I don't know. For me, it was definitely gonna be Iono Koji. The last fight with what was his name? Was it Ryu?
Oh yeah, okay. In season 2, yeah.
Yeah. So that was nuts. Hey, I have to look past the time that he spoke English, because that is a hard anime trope that I don't like.
Yeah.
You know, but
at least they kind of did better than Blue Lock.
Oh, no, anyone did it better than Blue Lock.
That's not true.
Baki?
Basketball. Kuroko no Basketball did not do it better than Blue Lock.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
Is that a sports thing? Do sports animes just have bad English?
I don't think it's that they have bad English. I mean, the thing is, there's nothing wrong with they're not saying anything incorrectly. It's just...
It's the fact that they try to sound cool. And
no, the fact that they're like, oh, you speak perfect English?
Yeah.
And it's like, it's not.
It almost puts me out of the space of where I'm supposed to be, you know, like the headspace.
Yeah.
And I really wish, because one thing about people that are bilingual, that are naturally bilingual, is the fact that when you speak English and your secondary language, your voice actually changes. Like, you sound like a completely different person. And so I wouldn't be upset if they just got English voice actors to do those parts.
Yep.
Right.
And it wouldn't really snap me out of the anime.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, you guys know this, like, I speak Korean, and when I speak Korean, I sound completely different. People don't even recognize that it's me. And so that's very normal. And I wish they would understand that's very normal and stop taking away my precious Blue Lock by putting in those terrible, terrible scenes. And it's like, it's not just their English, it's the lines too. The lines themselves are very cheesy. And when you're reading you can get past the fact that they're cheesy. But when he's like, I'm going to make your Japanese field trip all living, you know, whatever, you know, like it's,
or like, what did you say?
Yeah, like it's the lines themselves are cringy in addition to the delivery, and that's what makes it so bad.
Yeah, I agree. All right, so that's all that we have for today. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.